We were the 70th year of the Blue Angels. They started in 1946. So we would have let down 70 years of men and women that served on the Blue Angels had we not performed that correctly. So at this point, we've completed the flyover, but we have no idea how we performed. In our eyes, we couldn't fail on Super Bowl 50. In 2016, on February 7th, I was Lieutenant Ryan Droopy Chamberlain. I was Blue Angel number 5, the lead solo and operations officer for the 2016 U.S. Navy Blue Angels. The flyover lasts 5 seconds. The whole planning process starts months in advance. Being in California at Levi Stadium and a day game where people could actually see us in the daylight, it was an incredible opportunity, coordinating very early on with the Federal Aviation Administration, the Department of Homeland Security, as well as the folks at the Super Bowl production team. We realized how complex the situation was going to be. Lady Gaga performing the national anthem was information we didn't receive until probably about mid-January. And once we got that information, we sent a few ground folks up to time her and make sure that we knew exactly what to expect from a production standpoint so that we could figure out the exact time that we were supposed to be over the stadium at the end of the national anthem. 3 days prior to the actual flyover itself, she had practiced 3 times, and it was going to take her 2 minutes and 16 seconds. And each one of those times, she was within 1 second of that timing. So we were fairly confident that that was the time it was going to take for her to sing the national anthem. Light 'em up! There's the boss taxiing out. Thumbs up from number 2. That's myself there as the solos take the runway. Now we're behind the diamond. This is a look forward from number 4 as the diamond prepares for takeoff. Number 4 to slide underneath number 2, and this will be creating the diamond formation that everybody is familiar with. So we took off from Moffett Field up to the northwest here. You can see San Francisco International, Oakland, San Jose Airport, so very busy airspace. We fly 300 knots ground speed, which takes us about 4 minutes to get from what we call our push point to when we actually go to the stadium. It takes her 2 minutes and 16 seconds to sing the national anthem. So by the time she starts, we're a little over 11 miles from the airport, and we are what we would call committed. We were actually in formation, pointed at the stadium, we had our smoke on, and she hadn't even stepped up to the podium yet. About 6 to 7 minutes before the flyover was to take place, we found out that they were running a little bit behind. They announced every MVP player from the last 50 Super Bowls. Well, a couple of those folks don't walk as fast as they had anticipated, so the actual slowness of the walk caused a delay. At about 11 and a half miles, she started, but we didn't get the warm fuzzy because we could now no longer talk to our person on the ground because the crowd was so loud that he could not hear where the timing was. So we had a gap of about 4 to 5 miles, or in our case, about 45 seconds to a minute, where we had no idea if we were good or not on time still. At 4 minutes prior to when we were expected to be over the stadium, we hit our push point and proceeded inbound to the initial point, which is what's called the IP. As much as you want to go look down at the stadium, you have to understand that by doing that, you jeopardize the formation. So this is us coming inbound. We're smoke on. You can see through the canopy of number 4, the stadium, which is just underneath his heads-up display. That's the final lineup. At that point, whatever we get is what we get. At this point, we've completed the flyover, but we have no idea how we performed. So we left our smoke on. That was probably the biggest hair-raising thing, when you're trying to find out feedback of how you did and you haven't heard yet. And at this point, right about now, is when I had found out that we had performed on time and everything went off without a hitch. Obviously, it was a big sigh of relief that all the months of planning that took place were for the best. So everything worked out and we were very happy about it. Yes, it feels great to be a part of it, but the team effort that when we landed and we got to give everybody a big hug, that made it all worthwhile. The fact that she just absolutely nailed the national anthem made our lives way easier. I get goosebumps by watching it now as opposed to even thinking about being a part of it, because the headache part was being a part of it, but now when you see how it's done, it was a pretty unique experience.